There's certainly a lot to talk about, and we'll be analyzing the challenges that Marumo and Andrew are facing in their business, so don't go away. Welcome back to It's My Biz. This week's show is all about the service that Mola Maru Cleaning Services provides. I'd like to welcome back Andrew, Marumo, and of course our Biz Whizzes. Let's get straight to work. Francis?
The business needs structure. You need an office structure, so you need to set up a proper office. And secondly, I would suggest that you split the business into 3 pillars. 1, your contractual business. Number 2, your ad hoc business. And number 3, maybe a 3rd tier of providing training to people.
What do you mean by ad hoc?
Any business that is not contractual.
It's interesting that you say that, Francis, because the business plan of Andrew and Marumo is actually based on the ad hoc or domestic once-off type business that they're doing, but they're now moving into contractual services where there's a lot more money and there's a long-term profitability lying there.
There's obviously a huge need for them to be structured for that kind of business.
The ideal would be if the contractual business covers the business overheads and the ad hoc business is the cherry on top of the cake.
Okay.
They have a lot of logistical problems at the moment. They're running around taking teams to different places. It's cheaper to buy equipment to dedicate to a contract and leave it there, store it at the place where they're working on a contractual basis, and then demand of the team to get there on their own accord. That'll remove the logistical problem. And they can then use their vehicle and another team to service ad hoc business until that team is fully booked, and then they can start creating a second team.
Did you think perhaps that you needed to start with the vehicle first, or as opposed to growing a team?
We have people who go to their cleaning sites using their own means of transport. However, the challenge is when we have 2 or more jobs for ad hoc clients.
For that exact reason, that I'd like to see you concentrate your marketing efforts on the contractual clients. I'm not sure what it is about small businesses that when they look at this big tree of customers, they're always looking for the shiny stuff at the top. There's all this low-hanging fruit. There's your current clients and their other locations. Then there's your current clients and their clients. They start networking, introduce yourself to the right people, get them to introduce you to other people, and that's where your marketing is.
How can we efficiently be more aggressive on the corporate market whilst we keep our domestic clients happy?
You'll continue to service your domestic clients as you have. On the corporate side, we're actually going to take a much softer approach and an aggressive approach. We're going to take a networking approach. You're going to take people to lunch, invite them to park their cars there when there's rugby around the corner from you. Make them a braai. Make them part of your family. They will be so quick to pass you on to their clients.
But let's talk about how you can't really grow unless your financial management is in place.
Small business owners often use simple spreadsheets, cash flow statements to try and persuade people to part with working capital. If you ask a private investor to buy a vehicle for you, invest in your business, the first thing I'm going to look at is what is the return on my investment. So I'm going to say, well, if I put the money in the bank, I'm going to get 5% interest on my money. But if you need to use my money, I'm going to want at least 15 or even 20% return on my money. And how am I going to know that? How am I going to get the comfort from that? And that is done by a set of financial statements drafted by an accredited or registered accountant so that I can have the comfort that you are running the business profitably, you're managing your cash flow, you know what you're doing with the people that owe you money, you know what you're doing with people that you owe money. And if I am now the bank, they're going to be even more cautious because of their own, it's not their money they're lending you. It's money that they actually borrow and on lend. And that's why, guys, you'll be asked for annual financial statements, management accounts, you're going to be asked suretyships and collateral to protect the investment of the bank. And that's why a lot of business owners don't get the money that we think we deserve.
Even if it's not huge amounts and even if you can afford to finance it, right? Like for this vehicle that they say they need.
But I don't think they need a second vehicle yet.
Really?
If you're saying that you need to go to 2 different locations, then you have to start scheduling. If you don't have clients enough to keep 2 vehicles fully busy. You have to say to a client, at this time, my team is there, and I will schedule you as soon as they come back at that time. If you schedule and diarize like that, it even creates a sense with the client that there's high demand for your service. And you fill that team before you start thinking of buying a second vehicle.
Won't that limit our business to only doing 2 ad hoc clients per day?
2 ad hoc clients per day, that is 10 per week. Do you have them?
Some weeks it goes to that, some weeks not.
Okay, get that every week, then you buy your second vehicle.
That's my job.
So, Mike, you reckon they can grow this big?
They can. Some marketing effort, they said. What are you guys doing for marketing at the moment?
Well, we have our website online. We have done a distribution of pamphlets, brochures, and business cards.
Do you know which ones you're getting answers on?
We're not sure if the website or the pamphlet is the one that's bringing in customers.
I'll give you a simple little trick. Next time you're printing some brochures, bottom of the brochure, next to your phone number, put the ask for extension 1. When you print your business card, ask for extension 2. On your website, ask for extension 3. When the phone rings, the guy says, hi, can I have extension 2? Tick off in your little book that one came from the brochure. You know your brochures are working.
That, of course, is to get into the door. But then you have to give a standardized service.
Process.
And then word of mouth alone already will take you somewhere.
What do they need to do to like standardize stuff?
You have to list exactly all the activities that you expect of your employees to do when they go into a premises of a client. So you want them to do the same thing every time they go, so that every interaction feels the same, and also put policies for quality standards. You don't want somebody phoning you to say that their carpets have been bleached. You need to document everything so that when you create a new team, there's a business in a box that you can give them.
But what about the perception of the business by big business, Mike? VAT is a real issue for small business owners. Because if you registered for VAT, with respect, the perception is, oh, this is a formalized business. Now, I know that R1 million turnover is required before you're compelled to register for VAT. But as long as you're doing 50,000 Rand a year, you can voluntarily register for VAT. Now, you're paying VAT out, but because you're not registered for VAT, you can't claim it back. So what effect is happening is that you're increasing your costs by 14%, which is the VAT rate.
Another thing that will change the perception of your business, start collecting references from everybody. Take a look at your website that you're running at the moment. As beautiful as that website is, it's flash-based. The problem is, with a flash-based website, is there actually is no text. So if I go on the internet and search for your company, I can't find it. I can't find your services. I can't find your references. All that's being indexed is a whole lot of images. So take the trouble, change your site to an HTML site, put your contact details on the front, put a page just of references.
Do they need a brand new one, or do they tweak the one they have? A brand new one?
Brand new website.
So this is something everyone can learn from, really.
Absolutely. And if you're starting a website, remember these things. Leave the flash off, leave the music off, put the information there, put the contact information there, and put on a reference page.
As with many service businesses, it's really hard to know what to charge.
They lose out because their pricing is too high. So I think what we need to do is sit down with you. You'll do the homework. Research on the websites. Go and look at books and find information about the pricing in your market, because your pricing needs to be specific to your target market. So your pricing for your corporate services is not going to be the same pricing as for your domestic services.
Pick up the phone one of your competitors and ask for a quote.
And I suppose the more you know and the more standardized you are, the better you are able to know what to charge and pass on to your client.
And it's basic demand and supply. If your demand is so high, you can start charging more.
Definitely have a lot to think about, don't we, guys?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, behind everything we do here on It's My Biz stand the amazing people who make things happen. I'm talking about Nedbank. And now that we've heard from our Biz Whizzes, it's time to hear some truly fantastic entrepreneurial advice in our Nedbank Biz Tips. The weekly slot where Sibongiseni Ngunze of Nedbank passes on some real biz wisdom. But there's another reason that you really need to take a listen to this. If you're an entrepreneur, that's right. It's because it's time for our competition.